bottle murder mystery. An Instagram influencer found dead in a Richmond apartment. The body of the man accused of killing her also inside. ABC 13's Shelley Childers is live with what we know tonight. Shelley.
Eric, she was known as Mercedes Moore on Instagram. Millions of people followed her, but police tell us it was inside her Richmond apartment behind me where she was found dead inside.
To the world, she was Mercedes Moore, an Instagram sensation with over 2.6 million followers. She was everywhere. Music videos, Fashion Nova campaigns, exclusive parties with Drake, Travis Scott, and Offset. She had a premium OnlyFans account. Brands paid her thousands just to wear their clothes. When she walked into a club in Houston, people stopped and stared. She was glamorous, confident, and seemed untouchable. August 29th, 2021. Mark Gagnier stands outside his daughter's apartment in Richmond, Texas. She hasn't answered her phone in days. Her friends are worried. Her Instagram, usually updated every few hours, has gone silent. He sees her BMW parked in the garage. Something's wrong. Mark kicks down the door. At the bottom of the staircase, he finds his daughter Jana Mercedes Moore, curled in a ball. Her leg is twisted beneath her. She's only half dressed. For a moment, he thinks she fell. Maybe it was an accident. And he goes upstairs. A stranger lies by her bed. A knife sticks out of his chest. He's still breathing, gurgling, twitching. Blood covers everything, the kitchen, the bathroom, even the freezer. Puddles and droplets everywhere. This man traveled over 1,000 miles to kill Jana, but here's the thing. She had never met him, never spoke to him, didn't even know his name. So how did he find her, and why did he believe she owed him something? Welcome to our channel. What you just heard isn't fiction, it's the real story of Jana Gagnier, known to millions as Miss Mercedes Moore, and it's one of the most heartbreaking cases I've ever covered. Before we go further, I want to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. Jana Lynn Gagnier was born on November 11, 1987 in Houston, Texas. Her father, Mark Gagnier, was a 22-year-old private, fresh out of basic training when he met her mother, Janetta Grover, who was just 19. They got married and had Jana shortly after. The family eventually moved to the Los Angeles area, where Mark ran a restaurant before he and Janetta separated. Growing up, Jana was beautiful and smart, but she didn't really know what she wanted to do with her life. She bounced between her dad's house in California and her mom's place in Texas. She went to multiple high schools and got into fights with other girls. Her sister London later explained why. A lot of the times it really was because she was such a pretty girl. Jealousy followed Jana everywhere. To her family and close friends, she was just Jana, a daddy's girl who loved spa days with her mom and ordering 4 different appetizers at restaurants just to taste everything. She'd burst out laughing in the middle of photo shoots because she couldn't hold her stomach in any longer. At home, she wore a bonnet to bed with only one eyelash on, curled up on the couch under a blanket. After high school, Jana tried dental assistant training, but it wasn't for her. Then she made a decision that changed everything. She moved to Las Vegas with a boyfriend and started dancing at strip clubs. That's when she became Mercedes Moore. Her mother Janetta explained the name. Mercedes stood for luxury, and Moore was because she always wanted more. And she got it. Jana made between $4,000 and $5,000 every single weekend. Her father remembered her pulling out a duffel bag full of $1 bills to pay for dinners, sometimes handing out $150 or $200 at a time. She was making so much money it was disgusting, Mark said. But Jana wasn't just making money, she was making connections. Content creator Marquise Trill put it simply, all of the girls who are the top girls on Instagram, they all started out at the club. Jana eventually moved back to Houston and kept dancing on and off for years. That's where she met celebrities like Offset and Drake. In 2019, she and London went to Miami and ended up in Drake's private section at a strip club. He gave us stacks of cash and let us order whatever bottles we wanted, London remembered. What made Jana different was that she stayed herself. London said, "I think the reason why so many people loved her in the industry was the fact that they met her and she didn't treat them any different. She would give them attitude if need be, and she didn't gas them up because it was Drake, because it was Travis Scott, because it was Offset. She didn't care about any of that." Jana built her Instagram following and stayed in Houston. She was comfortable. She was stacking money. She was building her empire on her own terms. But with millions of eyes watching, not everyone had good intentions. A few years before her death, Jana was living in New Orleans when something terrifying happened. One of her followers found out where she lived and posted her address on Instagram. She had been doxxed. Jana had no choice but to pack up and move to a new apartment in Houston. Her manager Monica Jetz grew more and more worried about her safety. She even took Jana and another model to a shooting range to learn how to defend themselves. But Jana hated it. She covered her ears and jumped every time the gun went off. Firearms weren't for her. Still, Jana tried to be careful. Whenever she made personal appearances at clubs, her contract required security to be with her. She also moved into the Cortland Sugarland Apartments in Richmond, Texas, a gated community on the outskirts of Houston. She thought the gates would keep her safe. But here's the problem. Jana's entire career depended on sharing her life online. She had to post constantly to stay relevant, to keep the brand deals coming, to keep her followers engaged. She tried to be smart about it, posting photos from places other than her home, or only posting after she'd already left a location. But she wasn't always careful. In some of her Instagram photos, you could see her apartment door in the background. She blurred out the address, but the door was still visible. Influencers walk a tightrope every single day. Share too little and your followers lose interest. Share too much and you put yourself in danger. Jana's father understood this better than anyone. Every month, he'd warn her, "Jana, you have all these followers, some probably because they love you, some because they like your look, some more crazy, and some obsessed." He was right to be worried. Jana wasn't the only one dealing with this. Celebrities like Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift have faced stalkers who showed up at their homes. It happens more often than people think. And then there was the issue of packages. Through OnlyFans and other platforms, Jana's fans would send her gifts. After her death, Mark discovered that one of Jana's friends from Las Vegas had sent her a beanbag chair, delivered straight to her apartment. That's when it hit him. If I knew what I know now, nothing should have ever come to her address. It should have all gone to a P.O. box, he said. That's likely how her killer found her. A simple package, a home address, and a man who had been watching her every move online. Do you think social media platforms do enough to protect influencers? Have you ever felt unsafe because of something you posted online? Let me know in the comments. On August 17, 2021, just 12 days before her death, Jana sent her father a text message. She was about to move into her new house and her boyfriend wouldn't be there yet. She asked Mark if he could stay with her for a few days because she was scared to be alone. Jana had big plans. She was going to visit Washington, D.C. with her mom to meet her boyfriend, then come back to Houston so they could decorate her new home together. She was excited, happy, ready for the next chapter of her life. The last time anyone heard from Jana was Thursday night. She FaceTimed her sister London on the way back from a pool party that NBA player James Harden had thrown. London remembered that call clearly. "I got to tell her I love her, and I got to see her face before everything." Then, silence. Jana didn't post on Instagram. No stories, no updates, nothing. For someone whose job was being online, this was strange. Her friends started to worry. They tried calling. No answer. They texted. Nothing. Mark had just gotten back from a fishing trip in Key West when his phone rang. It was London, and she was panicking. Jana's friends had reached out to her because no one had heard from Jana in days. At first, Mark wasn't too concerned. He figured she'd been out late and was sleeping in. It had happened before. But London kept insisting something was wrong, so Mark and his girlfriend drove to Jana's apartment at the Cortland Sugarland complex that Sunday afternoon. When they arrived, Mark saw Jana's BMW parked in the garage. That changed everything. That's why I kicked the door down, Mark said later. When the door opened, he saw her. Janae was curled up in a ball at the bottom of the staircase. She was only half dressed. Her leg was twisted beneath her in an unnatural position. For a moment, Mark thought she had fallen down the stairs. Maybe it was an accident. He asked his girlfriend to get something to cover his daughter. Then he went upstairs. That's when he found him. A man was lying by Janae's bed. A knife was sticking out of his chest. He was still alive, barely. Gurgling, twitching, jerking. Blood was everywhere, in the kitchen, the bathroom, even the freezer. Droplets and puddles covered the floor. By the looks of the apartment, he had cut himself and bled all over the apartment for 2 days, Mark would later say. Mark screamed at the man, "What did you do?" That's when he saw the writing on the walls. Messages scrawled in Janae's lipstick and pens. Confessions, apologies, accusations. The man's name was Kevin Alexander Acorto. He was 34 years old. He was from Wellington, Florida, over 1,000 miles away, and Janae had never met him. Mark later said, "What I saw, I wouldn't want any parent to go through." The messages Kevin Acorto left on Janae's walls told a disturbing story. In lipstick and pen, he had written, "Janae led me to think she cared about me, but wore another man's ring." This was a reference to an Instagram post Janae had made back in May, where she showed off a ring her boyfriend had given her. Kevin had seen it, and in his mind it was a betrayal. He also wrote, "I should have stayed in Florida. I wish I'd never met her. And perhaps most chilling of all, I was used for money." The word money was dramatically underlined. These weren't notes. They were confessions from a man living in a fantasy. Kevin believed he had a relationship with Janae. He believed she cared about him. He believed she owed him something. But the truth? Janae had never met him, never spoke to him, didn't even know his name. Police immediately started investigating. Kevin Alexander Acorto was from Wellington, Florida. He had no criminal history, just a few minor traffic violations. Nothing that would suggest he was dangerous. Nothing that would raise any red flags. But the biggest mystery was this: how did he get into her apartment? The Cortland Sugarland apartments were in a gated community. There was no sign of forced entry. No broken locks, no shattered windows, nothing. Police discovered that residents could enter the complex 3 different ways: through the garage, through the back door, or through the front door. Kevin must have slipped in through one of those entry points. Janae's sister London had her own theory. "I believe he attacked her as she was coming out of her car from the street into the house, as she never parked in her garage," she said. Investigators found evidence that Kevin had been stalking Janae online for months. He liked her posts, he watched her stories, he studied every detail of her life. But he never sent her a message, never left a comment. He stayed completely silent, building a fantasy in his head. The Fort Bend County Medical Examiner's Office released their findings. Janae died from strangulation and traumatic concussion. Kevin died from multiple sharp force trauma. He had stabbed himself multiple times. Based on the timeline, police believe Kevin killed Janae on Thursday night or early Friday morning. Then he stayed in her apartment for 2 days, bleeding out, before Mark found them on Sunday. What do you think drove Kevin to this extreme? How did he find her exact address? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. So who was Kevin Alexander Acorto? By all accounts, he was quiet and unassuming. He lived in Wellington, Florida, and worked a regular job. He had no history of violence, no restraining orders, no criminal record beyond a few traffic tickets. Nothing that would make anyone think he was dangerous. And that's what makes this case so terrifying. Kevin wasn't some obvious threat. He was just a regular guy who became consumed by obsession. Social media creates something called parasocial relationships. That's when someone feels a deep, one-sided connection to a person they've never actually met, usually a celebrity or influencer. They watch their stories, they see their photos, they feel like they know them personally. But they don't. Kevin built an entire fantasy in his head. He believed Janae cared about him. He believed they had a connection. He probably sent her money through OnlyFans or other platforms. In his mind, that meant something. It meant she owed him. Then, in May 2021, Janae posted a photo showing off a ring her boyfriend had given her. For Kevin, that was the breaking point. He felt betrayed, used, like she had led him on. So he started planning. He traveled over 1,000 miles from Florida to Texas. He somehow found her exact address, most likely through packages or gifts that fans had sent to her home. He figured out how to get past the security at her gated community, and then he waited for the perfect moment. This wasn't a crime of passion. It wasn't spontaneous. It was planned, methodical. Experts say this is how many stalkers operate. They don't send threatening messages. They don't leave obvious clues. They stay silent, watching from the shadows, building a story in their heads that has nothing to do with reality. Kevin never reached out to Janae, never sent her a direct message, never commented on her posts. He just watched. And in his silence, he created a relationship that didn't exist. And when that fantasy shattered, he made the decision to take her life, and then his own. As soon as news of Janae's death hit social media, the rumors started spreading. People claimed she died of HIV or AIDS. Others said it was COVID-19. Some said she was robbed and killed by dancers who set her up. Others insisted she was an escort who took money from the wrong client. YouTube gossip channels had a field day. One popular YouTuber framed the case as a cautionary tale about the dangerous games that women play with these men. They called it dangerous simping, a term used to describe men who supposedly fall victim to beautiful women. The victim blaming was relentless. People said she was a gold digger, that she used men for money, that she deserved what happened to her. The fact that there was no forced entry made things worse. People assumed Janae must have known Kevin, that she let him in, that she was involved with him somehow. But none of that was true. Janae's friend Marquis Trill came to her defense. She got 2.2 million followers. She gets booked to go to the club. She's making money. She probably got 5 different streams of income. She don't need to jeopardize herself. And let's just say if she was, for who she is and how long she's been in the industry, she's going to deal with top-tier celebrities, NFL players, celebrities. She's not going to drop to that kind of person. London, Janae's sister, understood exactly what was happening. People already assumed the worst about Instagram models, that they're gold diggers, that they're users. It made it easier for people to sell the story instead of actually getting at the truth. Monica Jetz, Janae's manager, put it simply, "It's not fair women aren't allowed to be beautiful. Men get to live their lives and not be preyed upon. It's sad women don't have that right." While Janae's family was grieving, they also had to fight against lies and false narratives. They had to defend her name while trying to process the fact that she was gone. Even celebrities stepped in. Kershnik Karibal of Migos defended Janae online, pushing back against the rumors. But the damage was done. The internet had already made up its mind, and for Janae's family, that made the pain even worse. She wasn't a victim of her own choices. She was a victim of a man's delusion, a man she never even knew existed. The news of Janae's death sent shockwaves through Houston and beyond. More than 100 people gathered at Terry Hershey Park for a balloon release in her memory. Friends, fans, and fellow influencers came together to honor her life. Drake, who had partied with Janae in Miami, dedicated his album Certified Lover Boy to her. Cardi B and Tory Lanez posted tributes on social media. Celebrities and fans flooded Instagram with photos of Janae's radiant smile and messages of love. Her family spoke publicly for the first time. Mark, her father, was heartbroken. "She was so beautiful. That scared the hell out of me. And she kept trying to get more and more beautiful. She worked on it hard. That scared the hell out of me." Her mother, Janetta, said it best. She was Mercedes Moore to so many, but she was Janae Gagne to her family and her loved ones, who miss her dearly. London, Janae's sister, experienced something unexpected. Her Instagram following exploded after her sister's death. "I don't really know who's looking at me now because I'm Janae's sister," she said. "I have so many more people looking at me now, and I don't want that attention." She now constantly looks over her shoulder and avoids large crowds. The influencer community was shaken. Kayla G., another influencer and friend of Janae's, said, "There's not much you can do to protect yourself because you don't know these people. You don't know what they look like. All you can really do is try not to be alone and watch your surroundings." Monica Jett summed up what everyone was feeling. "It's a super scary reality that this could happen to any of us, and now it has." So what can we learn from Janae's tragedy? If you're a content creator with a large following, here are some steps you can take to protect yourself. Never post in real time. Save your stories and posts, then upload them later. Don't let people know where you are in the moment. Use a P.O. box for all deliveries. Never give out your home address, not even for gifts from fans. Check your privacy settings regularly. Make sure your location data is turned off and your personal information is hidden. Watch for obsessive behavior. If someone is liking every single post, watching every story, or engaging with everything you share, that's a red flag. Change up your routines. Don't go to the same places at the same times. Make yourself unpredictable. Invest in security systems. Cameras, alarms, and motion sensors can make a difference. Keep trusted people updated. Let family or friends know where you are and check in regularly. If you have a loved one who's in the public eye, set up regular check-in times. Take their security concerns seriously, even if they seem small, and know how to request a welfare check if something feels wrong. We need to stop victim blaming. We need to recognize that stalking can escalate quickly. We need to support programs that address obsession and unhealthy behavior, and we need to hold social media platforms accountable. Mark, Janae's father, said it best, "If I knew what I know now, nothing should have ever come to her address, should have all gone to a P.O. box." Monica Jett has been pushing Instagram to add delay posting features so influencers don't have to manually remember to post later. What other safety measures do you think influencers should take? Should platforms be held legally responsible for stalking that happens through their apps? Let me know in the comments. Here's the heartbreaking truth. Janae did take precautions. She lived in a gated community. She required security at her club appearances. She tried to be mindful about what she posted online. But one gap, her home address, was all it took. Janae was planning her future. She was moving into a new house with her boyfriend. She was talking about marriage and kids for the first time. She was launching her own leggings line and hair extensions brand. She was inspiring other young women to chase their dreams. All of that was stolen by a stranger's delusion. Her father said we just wanted her somewhere where she was nice and safe. Today, Janae's Instagram account is still active. Her following continues to grow. Strangers are still falling in love with someone they'll never know. But her story has to be more than a cautionary tale. It has to drive real change. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts on influencer safety, or just leave a heart emoji to honor Janae's memory. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover cases like this to demand justice and create awareness. Rest in peace, Janae Gagne. You deserved so much more.